if you had any idea how many times I have restarted this video. Alright, but I really like Feud, so I'm gonna keep at it. I wanted to talk to everyone about Feud because it was by far one of my favorite shows in a long time. If I can find a video editing thing, I'll add the bloopers from me trying earlier. Apparently my phone hates me and my iPod hates me, and they keep telling me I don't have enough storage to film. But see, that's poppycock because I filmed a 13-minute video with this phone and loaded it onto the computer, deleted it off the phone, deleted the backup version of the video off the phone, and yet I still don't have memory to film 4 minutes. Okay, whatever. Let's just get into it. Alright, so my favorite show this year was Feud, Bette and Joan. Like, I feel like that's how the announcer used to say it. Feud, Bette and Joan. Anyway, it was a Ryan Murphy project. And it was really good. Alright, see, Feud is something I knew I needed before I knew it was even a thing. Like, when I found out it was a thing, I was convinced it was made especially for me. Because it's about Bette Davis and Joan Crawford, and sorry, I'm not crazy, but there was something I need to get for this video. I'll get it in a second. But it's about Bette Davis and Joan Crawford and their feud, go figure, while filming Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. I just wanted to give a little spiel about how much I really liked Feud. Feud, Bette and Joan was this really great show this year by Ryan Murphy. And it was like, you know, he has American Horror Story, American Crime Story. Well, Feud is kind of like those in the way that it's going to change subjects every year. I think the next time they do it, it's going to be Princess Diana and Charles. Well, the first time was Bette and Joan. And you have no idea how excited that made me. Feud, Bette and Joan is about Bette Davis and Joan Crawford and their feud, which I guess hit its peak levels during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, starring Bette Davis and Joan Crawford. I love this movie a lot. Look at Bette. Look at her makeup. She did her makeup herself, and you're like, that's creepy though. Well, it's supposed to be because she's creep. So the character's creep. She did a good job. Joan was too busy being cute, and well, trying. Not important. Alright. What is important is how great the series is. Okay, so where do I start? Well, it has an amazing cast. Bette Davis was played by Susan Sarandon, who just blew it out of the water. Like, the role, that's a good thing, right? When people say you blew something out of the water, like, I don't know, it sounds like it could be either way, because if you blow a fish out of water, then it can't breathe. So, but she did a great job, okay? Like, she deserves all the awards. She brought so much emotion, so much feeling, so much just sincerity to the role. First of all, you know, when people play real people, it's a lot to expect them to act like them. You know, like, that's a lot to ask. Not act like them, but look like them. That's a lot to ask because, you know, people are people, and that they don't all have doppelgangers. And we do have doppelgangers, but they're not all actors. So it's kind of hard to find someone to be that person. Well, she really looked the part. Like, she looked like Bette in a lot of ways. And not only that, but she walked like her. She talked like her. I mean, she was the role. If you understood how exciting it was to see that, like, I loved it. I mean, she brought so much to that role, and like every movement was just, yes, queen. So I was super duper excited. about the show in general, just to know who the cast is going to be. Jessica Lange played Joan Crawford, and she did a great job too. Um, Joan is a very I mean, they're both conflicted characters, but if you've ever seen Mommy Dearest, which is I know a bad comparison, but and by a lot of people's standards, it's not a fair comparison, I don't think. But that's Faye Dunaway, Mommy Dearest is the movie about Joan Crawford, based on a book written by Christina Crawford, Joan Crawford's adopted daughter, which she adopted 4 children, and Christina was one of them. And Christina wrote a book called Mommy Dearest about how her mom was nowhere near Lloyd's finest mother. But see, even Christina, who wrote the book and who talks about how her mother was abusive and how her mother was just off the wall, even she didn't really like the movie Mommy Dearest. She didn't think it was good. And a lot of people have criticized the film either on its truth value, which I'm not so sure that's the biggest deal, but just the way it was played, there's no warmth there in Mommy Dearest. It's just a full hour and however many minutes of going, why are you like this? But I feel like Feud tried to answer some of those questions. And so in that way, I think that the writers brought some meat to the role, and Jessica Lange did a fabulous job of playing it. I mean, she didn't look as much like Joan as Bette looks like. No, as Susan looks like Bette, but she still worked her patootie off, and it was good. And I mean, she did a great job. And see, I'm being unbiased, trying to be unbiased because I like Bette Davis, and I don't care as much for Joan Crawford, but but the role, she made me feel for her. And like when I read stuff about her, I tend to feel for her, I do. But, watching, portrayals, and you're just like, oh, wow. But Jessica made you like feel compassion for her and kind of, feel something for her, and also want to punch her in the throat, but not just want to punch her in the throat. And so that's where the love is. But I mean, Jessica did a great job. And where was I going with that? Oh, but so Jessica did great. I totally blanked, guys. The other characters were awesome. I mean, there was Pauline Jameson, played by Allison Wright, who is actually a symbolic character, like a mixture of a lot of different people who were, you know, there. Women behind the scenes. But she was great. And she's like what's Bob Aldridge's assistant in the movie, and she does a lot to keep the movie going. And then she wants to be a director herself, so she writes a film and she plans to direct it, and it's just a big thing. I won't spoil how that goes, but she was very I would say influential to the show. And then there's Mamacita, who's played by Jackie. Oh man, why don't I know her name? I know her name. Okay, but Mamacita is one of the best characters too, because she's just funny and she's strong, and I don't even like strong is a really good word for her. And she's like Joan Crawford's right hand woman. She's her maid. She's her only friend, really. And she really works hard for her and to keep things going. Bob Aldrich is the director for Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, and Alfred Molina plays him, and he's just this suffering director. I mean, he has to work with these two women who absolutely hate each other, but he tries to play them against each other. I mean, the whole thing is them being played against each other, and you kind of go back and forth with how you feel about him, I think. But Alfred Molina does a great job of playing him. And then there's Stanley Tucci, who plays Jack Warner, who I feel like it's a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling in that role. He always seems like he's about to pop, but I think Stanley did a really great job with him. And it's just such a great show. You should go out and see it. You should stay in and see it, I guess, rent it, binge on it. I don't know when it's coming out on DVD, but whenever it does, I'm gonna be way, way excited to see it. I just really like the show. And like I said, it's a story I'm very interested in. And I love Bette Davis. Like, I adore her, and she is my favorite actress. And Joan Crawford is a good actress too. Don't get me wrong, credit where credit is due. I might not be crazy about her, but I've seen Mildred Pierce. I liked Mildred Pierce. I've seen The Women. I liked The Women. I mean, and she did fine in whatever happened to Baby Jane. I'm glad she didn't. Is that a spoiler? Oh, it's nothing's a spoiler. It's history. I'm glad she didn't do Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, because I really, really, really. Oh, Olivia de Havilland. I didn't mention that Olivia de Havilland is played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, who did a beautiful job. And um, yeah, it was really cool to see the relationship between Olivia and Bette. Goals, but Olivia de Havilland. What was I saying? Oh, oh yeah, okay. I'm glad that Olivia de Havilland got the role and whatever Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, because she did so great, and then their chemistry was I'm glad everything worked out the way it worked out. I guess I won't say a lot because that could spoil like the show if you want to watch it, I guess. I mean, you should watch it, but I'm just saying it's not really gonna spoil it. But it was a great show, and I'm so happy it happened. I really hope they get so many awards. Like, they all deserve it. But above all, I think Susan Sarandon deserves like a lot. I mean, the emotions, the just the delivery, and then the sheer fact that she became Bette. I mean, she deserves all of it. I love her. I love Jessica too, but Susan, I she just she was amazing. And I mean, the whole cast though was really, really good. Like, the guy just really liked the show, and I wanted to tell everybody about it. And I guess this time around, I don't know, I filmed so many things, but I don't know if I said it, but one of the best parts about watching this show was that every week I watched it with my friend. Shout out to Sarah for being my faithful Feud companion. Since I said food companion, kind of hungry. But anyway, my faithful Feud companion, because we watched it every week. We watched it every week on Sunday. Not together. She lives hella far away, but we texted through it about the show. Could have FaceTime, but we couldn't have FaceTime because I didn't have an iPhone yet, and neither it wouldn't work. But thanks, because like that was so cool to have someone to watch it with, because it's just really, it's something, when I like things a lot I want to share them with someone. And so she was my Feud buddy, and she is my Feud buddy. There's no was here. I feel like it brought us closer, so that's cool. So yay, Feud made friends. How about that? I am tired. I don't even know what's happening anymore. But the show is really great, and you all should watch it, because it's just, even if you don't know anything about the Hollywood scandals or about Bette Davis or about Joan Crawford, which you should go watch their movies, okay? I mean, I just wanted to talk about how special Feud was to me and how happy it made me. Like, you don't get it. I have a Bette Davis movie collection. I have a Joan Crawford movie collection. Yes, I have a Joan Crawford movie collection too. I have whatever happened to Baby Jane. I have a Bette Davis cigarette holder. Why? Because I thought it was a wallet. Whatever. It's still cute. I don't smoke though. I have the Feud magazine. I have a picture of Bette Davis that one of my friends drew for me. Shout out to Chelsea. That's the only shout out that you could possibly get in this video because you're probably not going to watch it. Poop. Anyway, but I have a picture that she drew me of Bette Davis for my birthday because everybody knows I love Bette Davis. I bought a magazine off of Amazon for $1 that featured the cast of Feud. I was crazy. I am crazy about the show. I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, like I said, Sarah and I watched it every Sunday. Every Monday, when I went to work, I would talk about it with two of my friends. Shout out to Mindy and shout out to CJ. When they actually watched it the night before, we discussed it. And it was just so good. I mean, I watched the first 5 episodes over, or 4 episodes over, with my friends Jessica and Tiffany. Shout out to you guys. And another mad because I've seen them all now. But I mean, I'm gonna rewatch the show forever. I mean, so it doesn't matter. Plus, there's some things I've forgotten that I'd love to see again. I mean, I'm probably gonna be rewatching this show for the rest of my life. I mean, do you guys not realize that I rewatched All About Eve 5 times the first year I ever saw it? And I've seen White Mama like 5 times, and to be honest, that is not necessary. But I've done it because Bette Davis. Anyway, Feud is great, and you all should experience it because it's just such a good show, man. I think you really like it. I mean, if you like drama, it's there. You like old Hollywood, it's there. You like pretty things, that's there too. You just like chilling and watching people act their butts off and like really show off their talents, and that's definitely there. But there's no but. I just hope you all watch it. And I am sorry if this video got weird or long. You've heard me yap for long enough. Bye!